As we take a live look at downtown Terre Haute, Storm Team 10 meteorologist Brady Harp is hard at work updating your forecast. Snow and below freezing temperatures are major concerns as this winter storm continues to blast the Wabash Valley. Good morning. Thank you for waking up with us on this Friday, December 23rd. We have team coverage for you this morning as brutal cold grips the region and road crews battle snow. Storm Team 10 is leading our coverage. Meteorologist Brady Harp has been tracking this storm all week. News 10's Caitlin Hunt will have a live report on road conditions, and News 10's Susan Dingle is monitoring power outages in the Wabash Valley and will be updating us again shortly. We begin now with your forecast. There are several things you need to know as you start your day. Brady, we've been talking about that snow, but that frigid air is so concerning. What are things looking like right now?
Well, the snow has largely moved out last night, and the snow will still be an issue when it comes to the wind blowing this snow around over roadways up into the sky, so it creates some visibility issues if you have to do any driving. But now the primary threat is going to be very low temperatures. Now you need to still treat that as if this winter storm is still happening, even though the snow has moved out, because this is perhaps the more dangerous part of this storm, where temperatures are about 7 below zero in Terre Haute, -6. And Vincennes, this would be dangerous enough, but we have these strong winds, near 30 miles an hour in some spots. And, like I said, the winds, moving the snow around, creating some visibility problems, moving some of the snow back over roadways that have already been cleared off. But, the winds are also creating a wind chill situation that's 30 below zero, 32 below zero in Terre Haute, -31 in Vincennes. This is what it feels like outside. If you have to be out there for just a short amount of time, it can already create a dangerous situation. And, when it comes to travel, again, maybe the roads are, in a bit of a better situation than they were last night. But you still don't want to take the risk and, have a car issue and then be stuck outside in, -32-degree wind chill. That's a very dangerous situation. So if you can stay inside, today's probably a good day to just stay off the road, stay in the warm home if you can. I know that's easier said than done sometimes, but if you can, just try to minimize your time outdoors. Now, coming up in a couple minutes, I'll detail the other impacts of this winter storm and let you know when to expect a little bit of relief from this bitter cold.
All right, Brady, thank you very much. Indiana National Guardsmen have been called out to help Hoosiers during this winter storm. About 150 Indiana National Guardsmen have answered the governor's call to prevent the loss of life due to severe winter weather. They'll be based in armories in Gary, South Bend, Fort Wayne, Kokomo, Muncie, and Lafayette. That's where they'll be manning command and control nodes as well as helping stranded motorists. Now, local police are also working long hours to help those who get stuck out in this snow and cold. News 10's Caitlin Hunt is staying warm in a Terre Haute Police Department patrol car right now. Caitlin, you've been out on the road all morning. What are those conditions like right now?
Yes, hi Heather. We are still with the Terre Haute Police Department. We've been cruising downtown Terre Haute pretty much all morning. We started here at 5 a.m. and we're still seeing about the same conditions as we started. I'll let our photographer Megan give you a closer look at what's going on outside this morning. So for the most part this morning, the streets have been pretty clean. We've seen a lot of crews come by. You're seeing some cars even start to make their way out here around 6:30, and they more and more have been coming out as the longer that we have stayed out here. But still, there's snow on the ground. We assume that there's some ice out on the roads too. Everyone, if you're coming out, make sure you drive slowly if you absolutely have to. But as Brady has been saying all morning, if you don't have to get out, do not get out. And I'm also here with Police Sergeant Dale Blanc, and we're talking a little bit about the roads here. Sergeant, what should we know if we absolutely have to go out here on the roads?
Give some time between you and the car in front of you. You may get into a clear spot where the road looks like it's in good shape, and then you come up on another slick spot. Some of these aren't easy to see. Some have been. Leave early. Give yourself extra time to arrive this morning as well.
Yeah, and as we said, we are seeing some cars out here, and we've been riding along with you this morning. Have you received any reports on accidents this morning?
Thankfully, City Police has not, but the Sheriff's Department has been sent to crashes and slide-offs already this morning.
Wow. Only one so far, but we want to keep it that way, and we don't want any more happening. So if you guys do head out this morning, make sure you're driving slow, as Sergeant Blanc said, and make sure you put that in your time if you're headed to work or anywhere else this morning. So I want to thank Sergeant Blanc for being with us this morning and letting us drive around and stay warm in his car. I'm going to send it back to you, Heather, but everyone stay safe and stay warm. Reporting live in Terre Haute, Caitlin Hunt, News 10.
Caitlin, thank you for those live reports all morning. Now, Terre Haute code enforcement will be out Looking for animals in distress from the cold. Owners will be fined if animals are in danger. News 10 went to the Terre Haute Humane Society to learn more about what pet owners should be doing right now. Their executive director Charles Brown shared that if temperatures drop below 20 degrees, animals need to come inside.
One of the things that is important to keep in mind is if it's too cold for you, it's probably too cold for your dog or your cat.
And it is too cold. If you see an animal in distress, you're being asked to call animal control at the Terre Haute Police Department. That telephone number is 812-238-1661. We have the perfect weather ingredients for power outages right now. This morning, News 10's Susan Dinkel has been monitoring outages across the Wabash Valley. She's live in the newsroom. And Susie, I know you've been monitoring the situation. What are outages looking like right now?
Good morning, Heather. And to answer your question, yes, we do have reported power outages right now. Those outages are currently in small clusters. We're talking 20 or less, or even in the single digits. High winds and below freezing temperatures are basically to blame for those power outages. And at this point, there's no doubt about it. The strong winds we're living with right now can easily bring down power lines and tree limbs. There's also increased demand on the power grid at this hour because temperatures are so very low. We're talking dangerously low temperatures. Local companies like Duke Energy and Win Energy both tell News 10 that their crews will be working as quickly as possible to safely restore your power. Both companies are operating under the same plan of attack, and they'll first work in areas with the most outages and then move on to smaller neighborhoods and then on to individual homes. If you're living with power right now, that's great news, but understand that can quickly change, especially with the conditions we're living with. Power company officials tell News 10 it is highly recommended that you create an action plan now before you potentially lose your power. I encourage you to check out WTHI-TV.com for power company support. Once you're on our site, just click on the resources tab. Then you'll find phone numbers, website links, and interactive outage power maps that will be at your fingertips. You'll have all of that information. Reporting live from the newsroom, and I'm going to stay on top of the power situation in the newsroom, Susan Dinkel, News 10.
All right, Susie, thank you for waking up early with us today. Cold weather means cranking up the heat in your home, and some may be tempted to use unsafe means to stay warm. That's why the Terre Haute Fire Chief is sounding the alarm. Chief Bill Berry says there is an increased risk of fire and carbon monoxide poisoning right now. That's why you need to make sure your detectors are working. Also, pay attention to space heaters and all those holiday decorations and gifts to ensure they don't go up in flames.
If you see anything abnormal, you smell smoke, you smell fire, smell smoke, or you see fire, obviously call 911. We'll be there to help you.
Chief Berry says you should also remember to close before you doze. Closing your bedroom door before you go to sleep can help slow a fire from reaching you in your room. Now remember, you can find complete coverage anytime by visiting WTHI-TV.com and downloading the News 10 and Storm Team 10 apps.